He brought the world together, or at least attempted to do that with his music, and we can't think of a better way of paying tribute to this remarkable man than to join together and sing one of his songs. To lead us on the song Quite Early Morning, it really does give me great pleasure to introduce a singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist who has known Pete, literally, for all of her life, and for whom this loss will be felt more deeply than by any of us. So please welcome Pete's sister, Peggy Seeger.
I'd like to assume that that applause was for Pete as well. Now, you read about him on your last page of your book, so I won't say much about his history. It's too long, too complicated, too absolutely wonderful. My first time I ever saw him play was in a boxing ring with Leadbelly. They weren't boxing, and he was teaching the audience. And so what I'd like to do with this song is to show you how he did that. And he expected you to jump to right away. No nagging, no begging, just sing, darn it, okay? So, here it is. I'll sing one line, you give it back to me, and if my suspenders hold up long enough, we might have to sing it again, we shall see. We know it's darkest before the dawn. Now you. We know it's darkest before the dawn. The coming light keeps us moving on. The coming light keeps us moving on. We must heed the early warnings. We must heed the early warnings. The time is now, quite early morning. The time is now, quite early morning. Repeated those last two lines. We must heed the early warnings. The time is now, quite early morning. Some say that humankind won't long endure. They sound so sad, they sound so sure. Stop your crying, it's time for singing. Make those morning bells go ringing. Repeat, stop your crying, it's time for singing. Make those morning bells go ringing. Geez, Pete would love to hear you. And so we go on while we live, until we have no more to give. And when our fingers can play no longer, give the old banjo to someone stronger. And when our fingers can play no longer, give the old banjo stronger. We know it's darkest before the dawn. The coming light keeps us moving on. We must heed the early warnings. The time is now, quite early morning. The dawn, work together, keep moving on through all this world of joy and sorrow. We still have hope for tomorrow. Through all this world of joy and sorrow, we still have hope for tomorrow. In his later years, I suppose that means the last 20, because he died when he was 94, about 3 weeks ago. He'd lost most of his voice, he'd lost most of his memory, and he'd lost a lot of his hearing. Now, that man could stand up here and start a song that he knew you knew, and he'd get you to sing it without him because he couldn't do it anymore. So let's do a Pete Seeger on this one. You're going to sing this by yourselves. We know it's heartless. Louder. Louder yet. Another one, another chorus. We know it's darkest before the dawn. The coming light keeps us moving on. Wonderful. The early warning. The time is now. Why